This thank you tour is not new. We've seen same over the period. All parties do this. But what is striking about this particular one is as though the report that was not made public, the content of same is being made public by Dr. Bawumia, and is generating a lot of reactions, including even from the likes of Boachi Jaku, who think that the thank you tour is becoming more of a platform to throw jabs at each other. From your own observation, what do you think?
For me, I think that it's much ado about nothing. It's a thank you tour. It's a political party. This is not the first time that a candidate has gone into an election, lost the election, and decided to go around the country to, one, show appreciation to the party, rank and file, and also all the people who actually contributed to the campaign. The tour was actually meant to have happened much earlier, but then in the wisdom of the campaign, which I was a very key member of the campaign, said that because the party had actually commissioned a committee to look into the post-election, to do a post-mortem, it was thought wise for us to postpone until that report comes out. And then the party now has taken center stage in terms of making sure that this thank you tour happens. In a political party, you know, we don't really extend formal invitations like that. I mean, you, Fred, you have done this thing for a very long time. You know this. And you know what is actually very interesting, even with the commentary coming from Fred. On the 9th of December 2016, I was sitting on Metro TV with Fred. Fred, you remember?
I do.
When we were refusing to concede. Oh. So me and Fred, we go, I'm talking about 9th December 2016. You understand what I'm saying? And this whole conversation around an administration that everybody thought was never going to come back, and the issues to do with Doomsaw and all the crises and challenges that we had, and I mean, at that particular moment, that was the monumental loss in terms of percentages, and even how much an incumbent government lost by, right? I mean, 8 years down the line, the NDC has won an election again. You know, so it's quite interesting that Fred is sitting here, actually becoming a prophet of doom and saying all sorts of things. I'll tell you, listen, I'll tell you, it does not matter what people say, what people do. Dr. Bawumia will be the next flag bearer of the MPP. You can't change that. Now, I've seen persons, I mean, even within our own, trying so hard to create a certain perception that something untoward is being done to benefit or to the advantage of the candidate who took us to the election. In any case, the guy was the flag bearer. And so if you're going around the country to do a thank you tour, it makes sense to make sure that he actually headlines it. It doesn't change anything. We haven't even gone into our internal elections yet. All these people that we are talking to, who are polling station executives, constituency executives, regional executives, electoral area coordinators, national executives, it might happen that by the time we even go into the next primaries, they will not be at post. Because we have to go through an internal election process. So when people get overly excited and start doing all of these things, then we are actually giving cannon fodder to our opponents like Fred.
But would you admit that it still gives him an avenue to market himself?
No, but what is the avenue? A political party, which you are a member of, and some of these persons are very, I mean, big, I mean, if you like, leading members of the party. Nobody will turn you away if you turn up at a thank you tour. I was part of the campaign. I'm not there. I decided that I want to stay back, and because this is also important. However, I'll be in my region. I'll be in Eastern region. By the time the thank you tour gets there, right? So, I mean, sometimes I think that we overstretch some of these things and make it look like there's something untoward happening and all of those things. I've even had persons who I don't even know where they came from. You You understand? So
Like
all of
who?
a sudden, I don't want to mention it. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to be part of those.
Yeah.
Listen, people. But that's just what I'm saying.
If there are people that you don't know where they are coming from.
When
You-
you see,
you
like
are-
I sat here
Yeah.
and I told you that in 2016, right?
Yeah.
I was sitting on a national platform, Metro TV with Fred. Some of these people who are now claiming that Dr. Bawumia has done this and that, they were nowhere to be found. They are who they are today as a result of convenience. And nobody's going after them. So all I'm saying is that, listen, I'm not talking about Jaco. I'm saying that.
I'm only asking.
No, because the Jaco is the one.
I'm not saying, I'm not talking about.
Let's have him. Let's have him.
Right.
land.
All I'm saying is that Dr. Bawumia was a candidate in 2024. Unfortunately, we lost the elections. The party has decided. I'm talking about the party. And you see, he cannot go and force the party to go through this particular process. You have a national council, where in national council you have former President Kufuor, former President Akufo-Addo, he himself, former national executives, former general secretaries, former national chairman, and all of that, council of elders, making a decision. And you're sitting somewhere saying that this group of persons,
He's no longer flag bearer.
No, but it doesn't.
So it doesn't make him leader of the party.
But he's not.
Would the party leadership have led?
He's not
this
carrying
thank you
himself
talk?
as a leader. What he's done
He's trying
is
to
that
merge his
he's
campaign.
going into these various constituencies and regions to say that, yes, I was the lead. And you see, when you're trying to be disingenuous, then you can take some of the things that he's saying out of context. Everything that he has said, he said, we. What does we mean? We means that he's actually acknowledging that he was part of the government. He was the vice
He's taking
president.
responsibility for
and he's
what
taking
happened.
responsibility. But if you have a certain, if you like, ulterior motive, or you try to create, it's like the Agama lizard thing. Oh, now Bawumia is going on a tour. Certain persons are unhappy. And so let's find a way of making him unpopular and make it difficult for him. For me, I think that this morning, we shouldn't be discussing these things. You understand what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. All that is happening is that you're going to go through the processes. Even this issues to do with the report. The report, of course, is not known to all of us. I haven't seen the report. However, he's making claim to certain things that even the people themselves have actually articulated, right? So there are things that were, if you like, external, that had nothing to do with the internal party architecture. But there are also things that were very profound, like internal bickering, like people being disgruntled, like the inertia, like issues to do with apathy and all of that. And he's talking about all of these things. And he's using we, and still people have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? And we've gotten to the point
we
where...
should cut him some slack.
Of course. I mean, but we would meet those people. I'm being very... I'm passionate about it. We'll meet those people, boot for boot. Nobody has what do you call it? Authority over anybody.
Is there a plan to sit with all these persons and iron out the issues?
There's no issue. The issue is that we've gone into an election. People who have found their right now were also culpable. They're also a part of the reasons why we are in opposition
People
today.
think there's an undue advantage. Say the report per se, for one, it's not been made public. Others have not seen it. But he's speaking to issues that are most likely in that report. So then it gives the perception or the impression that he has.
But he has seen it. I'm objective, right? As far as I'm concerned, what's the point of a report, right? The point of a report is that the persons, the key protagonists, stakeholders within the party should have access to it. But it's not an external document. It shouldn't come to you.
Right.
Right? But if somebody was a presidential aspirant, a member of parliament, a national executive, what have you, a council of elder patron, and all of those things, I believe strongly that this person should have access to the report. Otherwise,
the member of parliament from
but
I says he hasn't seen the report.
Yeah, but that's just what I'm saying. That I'm not one of those people who, you understand. I believe it makes sense that people within the party who are key stakeholders will have an appreciation of what the report is.
Yeah.
Because it follows a certain logical process whereby you've done the study, you have the issues, the party is calling for constitutional people to make proposals for constitutional amendments and all of that. So it has to be based on a certain source document, but it is not an external.
Right.
You understand? So I also agree with the National Executive to make sure that it is a document that stays within a certain confines of the political party. But people within the party should have access to it.
Very well.